All right.
So I was in a meeting the other day or luncheon and stuff, and I asked the question. I said, we were in conversations about how different touch points with clients and stuff. And I said, do you use a CRM? So our company provides a CRM, right? And I find too, because I've gone into it because certain I'll say if I do a certain boost on a listing, it just kind of puts those leads into there. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, it has some great tools too, but it's very overwhelming. It's a lot going on. And for anyone that is not, um, just has not exposed to that and not a strong techie person, and I'm a techie person, but it's overwhelming. The nice thing with Field Notes is I just feel like it's simplified. It provides me what I need, which is keeping my clients in one area, being able to categorize them, being able to say, oh, I want to send this group an email and do that, and then be able to track the open rate so that I can see, okay, so and so opened it, and then the touch points, how it says, hey, here's your 10 people to focus on for the week. So if I'm having a slow week, I go to that and be like, okay, who do I need to reach out to? It pulls that information to the forefront for me to look at. Managing my email templates. That was initially when I came on with you guys, that was my main thing, right? Is I had already started it. It was a very cumbersome process in a Word document, but that kept it organized. I mean, I met with some new clients yesterday. I went into my email template, just, sent them a nice email and pulled up one of my templates. So I didn't have to sit there and write this whole thing out. It was already there. I added a little personalized to it. I had it out in 5 minutes. I've got a closing coming up Monday. I have a closing, how to prepare for closing and what you need to bring to closing and all that. Sent that out in 5 minutes. So I'm knocking all this out. It's a very structured process. Action plans, you get a lead and I could put them up on this action plan so they're getting different, types of content from me, whether it be a
Right.
video or email or text, but I'm letting them know I'm out, those are harder leads to turn than, working your sphere, right? So
So, so when you do
that,
you think it was a challenge to adapt to CRM more because of its technicalness, right? And the way that
yeah,
I guess your company that built theirs, it's a little bit more because there's softwares that you can refer to like as Apple, which is more kind of user interface, real easy flow, and then there's that Windows version, which it gives you all the capabilities to do everything you want, just like Windows or just like Apple's version, right? UI, but it's a little bit more technical and more
yeah, I think that's
just
the thing that, some of these try to cram so much functionality into it that it instantly becomes overwhelming and scares people off.
and you think
You
that just puts people in deer in the headlights when it comes to it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and I guess you got to look at what are the main things you need it for. Okay. I need it to manage my clients, keep that list. And then to do various emails to track those emails, yeah, it'd be great too if it's, put them up on a search and all that. But now we're getting too complicated. We're doing too much and we're, running ad promotions and this and that. And, that becomes almost overwhelming, to learn. And,
That's been
I
my
feel
experience. That's
I
been my
feel like
experience.
I feel like that's why people, and I think the problem too is that people, they sometimes gravitate towards reaching for these things when their business is maybe slow and they want that quick fix, right? A CRM is not a quick fix. It's a long haul, right? It's
It's a
something
tool.
that
You know what I mean?
it's a tool that manages your business throughout the life of your business, right? So for
Mhm.
example, when I look at my closings this year, 37, I mean, I still got some coming up, but 37% of my closings have been from people that have lived in my CRM. Okay. So those people have lived in my CRM for a duration of time. Okay. Now another, stat is 25% of my closings have come from people reading my Google reviews, Zillow, whatever, and reading my bio. Okay. That's a whole nother conversation why you need those in place. But
Oh yeah,
that's that much more people that are going to now live in my CRM for future referrals, right? So every year I am building on that. I've got some closings from open houses. I've got some friends of my kids, the parents who have just reached out to me and are ready to downsize or whatever that did not live in my CRM, but from this point forward, they will live in my CRM, right? So every year I am adding to that to where every year my percentage grows of business that I feel that came from the
CRM.
CRM and came from continuing that relationships. And for me, I don't go crazy, okay? I'm not emailing them every week. I'm emailing them kind of once a month, and I try to keep it pertinent information that they would truly use, right?
Absolutely.
Be of value to them that they would stop and say, "Hey, I'm going to read this email from Renee." I don't get too many of them, but it keeps me there,
Yeah.
right? And it shows that I'm communicating. I'm communicating something of value. Like I met with my roofer regarding my roof, and he educated me on just some things to look for with regarding hailstorms. So I I created an email and I shared that information and I was able to put a personal touch on it because I had inquired about it for my own personal need, right? So, and people thanked me for sharing it. And it's great because I can see the open rate, right? I can say, okay.
Yeah, the
And
analytics
pleasure
is
too
bar
that I
none.
feel like when I look at that, like I'll send an email out and a couple hours later I'll go back and I have a large percentage of people, my open rate is high within the first couple hours. So they're not just ignoring my email, they're like opening it and looking at it when they get it,
Do
right?
you remember the time when that wasn't happen when your open rate wasn't so high, or were you even thinking about that? Was that
I think
something
that's
that
the thing. I wasn't even thinking of the value of that, and I wasn't even really, or I wasn't
tracking it?
tracking it, or I before Field Notes, I just send it through Gmail and just, hope that it
Wish and
either
hope. Yeah.
well, and two, I think that I remember running into cases where Gmail would maybe stop it because I was trying to send it to too many people, or, I ran in, it became an issue to gather all the names, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like a click of two buttons and I've got everybody I want in there, right? Because of how I've labeled them and categorized them, right? So,
That's huge, is dispositioning your your data. You know what I mean? Having people who are silent. I remember you wanted to delete them. You know what I mean? You wanted to get them out of your CRM if they weren't doing nothing, then get. But
well, yeah.
from you having a silent bucket and then just kind of going into that bucket, I think somebody came back positive out of that, right?
Yeah, closing with him on Monday, so
So it's closing them with how much?
yeah, he got my stuff and out of the blue he called me and yeah, so yeah, that's a closing on Monday. That was one of the people that have lived in my sphere, this is the deal. If I go back to kind of thinking about why did I choose a CRM? When I in 2019, when I was part of a two-person team. We decided to go our separate ways.
Hmm.
And so in a way, even though I didn't switch companies, and that was year 4 of me being in the business. I kind of started over to some degree, right? I mean, I had some people that carried over that were kind of my clients. But I had to start over and brand myself as an individual agent. So I had a lot of marketing to do, all of that. And I really like I was doing some of these leads from like my company and different resources. And I'm gonna be honest, like everybody's experience, I hate to classify them as this, but they're kind of the bottom of the barrel leads, right?
Yeah.
Like to get someone to answer the phone. And my kids would get annoyed with me because I'd be like, we'd sit in a zoo parking lot. I'm like, okay, I gotta call this lead because it just came in, and they would be annoyed. And I just felt like I was chasing stuff. And I'm like, I need to run my business my way. And I'm a relationship person. I love chatting with people. I love taking care of, like, I guess my niche is through time has kind of been my senior population, right? Those who are downsizing. I love meeting with those individuals and just sitting down and walking through the process with them. But so that was my thing. It's like I need to create relationships and I need to maintain those relationships. So I needed a CRM, and the thing back then too, like you would hear, I'd listen to podcasts, they'd talk about how, a CRM is valuable. But the one thing that was also said is you want your own CRM. You don't want to use a company CRM because if you leave for some reason, you could lose that, but you'll lose all that data, right? So, okay, I tried another one that was like, so much for a month, whatever. And I think two things. I made the mistake of thinking, oh, this would just be quick and it would change my business
Mm.
overnight. I don't know.
The
You just kind of think that
immediate gratification.
it's a magic wand. We're always
Yeah.
looking for the magic wand, right?
No.
That's not the case. Okay. So I bailed on that one. And then I think I found you guys in the fall of 2019, and we've we've been a partnership ever since.
Yeah.
And through time, and again, this is what people need to understand. It's a growth process. I have
Yeah.
grown. I mean, first I focused on putting all my email templates in because that was something I started that was part of my systems, right? So Field Notes really made that easy, and just being able to put them in folders. I mean, I am so organized with my email templates.
Right.
Okay. I can communicate a wealth of information in minutes. Okay. And
And not stress it.
I'm not stressing.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving anything out. I'm not my wording, I'm not short. I don't come across as I come across in the tone. That's important.
Yeah. Because it's difficult
So very
to,
yeah,
yeah.
professional, right? So I was able to take time, and through time, and those have evolved too. It's not like I just put them in and I've never touched them again. They've gone through different iterations, right?
Right.
That's a thing. It's like a CRM is something that it grows with you. So especially, I'm an individual agent. I do everything on my own. Year after year, I've grown my business. That is my goal. And a part of that growth is attributed to having a CRM. So I'm able to stay in touch with people through just random emails that go out. Okay. I don't do a lot of gift giving, or I don't throw any big parties or anything like that. It's just, and I do right now, I do two mailers. I do the Colts magnets because I'm from Indianapolis, right? So
Sure.
Indianapolis Colts, I do that kind of in August to all my past clients, and some future clients, if they're really, an active, future client. And then I do Christmas cards. Okay. I probably really need to have some sort of spring thing touch point with the snail mail, going out. But, it's just another area I can improve my business. But, the CRM allows me to keep my clients in a central spot. So when I do those mailers, I print out mailing labels, right?
Right.
I'm able to do that. And I've got them all, like, I want all my past clients, I print them out, and either I print them out on the little stickers or I handwrite them. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. But they're grouped as, mailing addresses, right?
Yep.
And I tell you, I don't get as much returned emails I used to get in the past because I've maintained their addresses, right? So I hardly get any returned email or returns, mail, Christmas cards or Colts magnet. It's a rarity. Okay.
That's nice.
So yeah. In fact, I had a conversation when I had this luncheon the other day, and we're talking, and an individual had a great what she does, she sends a CRM to uh all of her past clients, like of the neighborhood of what sold in the past year. And she does it by snail mail. And I'm like, oh, I should do that, but I'm gonna do it by email.
Email. Right.
Because I could save that as a document and then just attach it within Field Notes, send it to that person, kind of have a standard email that I send to everybody, but then for each individual, go in and tweak a couple things, right? Attach it, send it off, and then guess what? I get to see, did they open it? You know?
Which
Um,
is important, which gives
and
you, you know,
I'm saving the cost of a US stamp. Okay. So,
saving
uh,
your resources, getting the
yeah,
same type of
you know,
response is beautiful.